The moment Ethan Carter stepped into the glittering ballroom, he wasn't looking for trouble. He had only come to pick up his 6-year-old daughter after her piano recital held in the luxury hotel downstairs. But across the room, he noticed something that instantly awakened the instincts that years in the Navy had carved deep into his soul. A powerful CEO wearing a stunning crimson dress wasn't smiling because she was happy. She was smiling because she was trapped. The man sitting across from her wasn't simply rude, his body language screamed control, manipulation, and quiet danger. While everyone admired the glamorous couple from a distance, Ethan saw what no one else could. And within minutes, one fearless decision would change both of their lives forever. Before we begin this emotional journey, if you believe kindness still has the power to change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories that remind the world compassion still exists. Ethan Carter had once commanded elite rescue missions across dangerous oceans, but now his greatest mission began every morning by braiding his daughter Lily's hair before school. 3 years earlier, cancer had taken his wife, Sarah, leaving him to raise their little girl alone. After leaving the Navy, Ethan worked as a marine safety consultant, earning enough to provide a modest but loving life. His expensive medals rested forgotten inside an old wooden box because the only title that truly mattered anymore was Dad. Every sacrifice, every extra hour, every sleepless night revolved around making sure Lily never felt alone. That evening, Lily had performed beautifully at her piano recital inside the Grand Wellington Hotel. Ethan arrived early and waited in the elegant lobby while wealthy executives gathered upstairs for an exclusive charity gala. As guests walked through the marble halls wearing designer suits and sparkling jewelry, Ethan stood quietly in his faded olive green shirt and dark jeans, looking completely out of place. Yet confidence had never come from expensive clothes. Years of serving others had taught him that character always outweighed appearance. On the upper floor, Charlotte Bennett, the 35-year-old CEO of Bennett Technologies, wished she had trusted her instincts. Newspapers constantly described her as one of America's youngest billionaire businesswomen, but behind every magazine cover was a lonely woman exhausted by people who loved her fortune more than her heart. Her board members had practically forced tonight's dinner, insisting that billionaire investor Victor Reynolds would make the perfect husband and business partner. Victor looked polished, successful, and charming to everyone watching. But beneath the polished smile lived arrogance disguised as confidence. Throughout dinner he criticized Charlotte's decisions, mocked her charity work, and casually reminded her how easily investors could turn against her company if she refused to cooperate with him personally. Every sentence became another invisible chain tightening around her freedom. She remained calm, afraid that causing a public scene would become tomorrow's headline. As Ethan waited downstairs, Lily suddenly realized she had left her music folder near the ballroom entrance. Ethan walked upstairs to retrieve it, unaware that destiny was quietly guiding every step. As he approached the hallway, he noticed Charlotte standing near the balcony trying to create distance from Victor, whose grip on her wrist had become unmistakably forceful. Guests nearby pretended not to notice, assuming wealthy couples simply argued differently than everyone else. Military training had taught Ethan something priceless. Real danger rarely announced itself loudly. It whispered through frightened eyes, stiff shoulders, and silent pleas no one else recognized. Without hesitation, Ethan calmly walked toward them and greeted Charlotte as though they had been lifelong friends. His confident presence instantly interrupted Victor's control. Ethan apologized warmly for supposedly arriving late to escort Charlotte downstairs, creating a believable reason for her to leave without embarrassment. Charlotte understood immediately. She didn't know this stranger, yet something about his calm eyes made her feel safer than she had all evening. Victor exploded with anger, demanding to know who Ethan thought he was. Ethan never raised his voice. Years of facing armed enemies had taught him that true strength rarely shouted. He simply positioned himself between Victor and Charlotte, giving her enough space to breathe while hotel security, finally recognizing the escalating tension, hurried toward them. Victor stormed away before security arrived completely, furious that someone wearing ordinary clothes had dared to challenge him publicly. The ballroom slowly returned to normal, but Charlotte's heartbeat refused to settle. She thanked Ethan sincerely before introducing herself. Ethan smiled politely but admitted he had no idea who she was. To him, she wasn't America's famous CEO. She was simply someone who needed help. That answer stayed with Charlotte long after Ethan left with Lily. For the first time in years, someone had protected her without asking for anything in return. Over the following weeks, Charlotte couldn't stop thinking about the mysterious single father. Her assistants eventually located Ethan through hotel security reports. Instead of sending expensive gifts, she quietly researched his life. She discovered a decorated Navy veteran who volunteered at veteran centers every weekend, coached children's swimming classes for free during summers, and anonymously donated portions of his modest income to military families facing hardship. The more she learned, the more confused she became. People spent millions trying to impress her. Ethan had walked away without even asking for her phone number. Charlotte eventually arranged a meeting under the excuse of thanking him properly. Ethan reluctantly agreed, bringing Lily because babysitters were unavailable. Watching Ethan laugh with his daughter over simple pancakes instead of ordering luxury meals touched Charlotte deeply. Lily proudly spoke about her father fixing broken bicycles for neighborhood children and reading bedtime stories every night, even when he returned exhausted from work. Charlotte suddenly realized success had surrounded her with impressive people but not necessarily good people. Over the following months, friendship slowly replaced awkwardness. Charlotte discovered peace during ordinary afternoons spent walking through parks, eating ice cream, and helping Lily build sandcastles. Ethan never treated Charlotte like a billionaire. If anything, he often forgot entirely. He encouraged her to take weekends off instead of answering endless business calls. He reminded her that companies could always earn more money, but childhood memories and peaceful sunsets could never be bought back once lost. Meanwhile, Ethan remained completely unaware of Charlotte's growing feelings. He believed someone as extraordinary as Charlotte deserved a sophisticated businessman with private jets and luxury estates, not a widowed Navy veteran still driving an old pickup truck. Every time his heart whispered hope, his insecurities silenced it. Charlotte noticed those invisible walls but chose patience over pressure. One afternoon, Lily innocently asked Charlotte why she smiled differently whenever her father entered the room. Children often notice truths adults spend months hiding. Charlotte simply hugged the little girl without answering. Months later, disaster struck Bennett Technologies when false accusations caused investors to panic. Social media exploded with rumors. News reporters camped outside Charlotte's headquarters, while trusted executives quietly abandoned her. For the first time since becoming CEO, Charlotte felt completely alone. Except she wasn't. Ethan arrived carrying homemade dinner because he knew stressful days often made people forget to eat. He sat